Maxim's second greatest achievement in life was winning a poetry competition in secondary school with the poem My Uncle Lennon. The teacher cried. His greatest achievement in life was being the son of an administrator in the Secretariat, a subdivision of the CPSU. He's a comrade's comrade, which is what makes him a political commissar. That means he makes sure the men are inspired and are harmonious with party ideology. That's why today he's been tasked to monitor the day's proceedings. The company commander has ordered Nikolai and his men on a suicide mission. They've been sent to capture a fortified hilltop in the woods, with no support, in broad daylight on open fields. The commander has viewed Nikolai with suspicion, influenced by dark forces, and has sent Maxim along to inspire the men, believing that his presence alone has positively influenced them and ensured their ongoing sustained successes. They've not slept in nearly 2 days or bathed in 6 weeks. The cost of victory. It's autumn 1942, and the lice is prolific. Like most of the men, Simeon, our sniper, has been tormented by these tiny parasites, even finding them inside the receiver of his Mosin. The Mosin-Nagant M1891-30 was a mass-produced modernized bolt-action rifle of the Red Army. Chambered with 7.62 in a 5-round clip, it has a fire rate of 10 to 15 rounds per minute. With training, a shooter can hit a target up to 500 meters away, while Simeon's scoped variant can hit a target up to 800 meters away. In Ostfront, that's roughly 120 to 140 meters. With 13 million produced between 1930 and 1947, it did the job of armoring the many of the 34 million mobilized personnel in the Red Army between 1941 and 1945. We get to keep our AT detachments and have been assigned a new DS-39 machine gun, not Dektarov's best piece of equipment. The belt-fed DS-39 heavy machine gun was produced in September 1939, firing the same 7.62 as the Maxim. It was meant to replace the Maxim, but it performed poorly in combat. It had a similar fire rate as the Maxim with 600 rounds per minute, but had a dual purpose in being an AA gun, firing 1200 rounds per minute. Production was eventually halted in 1941 with only 10,000 being produced. It was built to receive canvas belts, but when converted to consume metal belts, the feeder mechanism was so violent it would frequently rip the bullet head out the casing, creating jams. Because of this, we'll bring our Maxim heavy machine gun piloted by Velikiye Luki. Technically it's not the original Maxim, but a Russian modernization of the original Hiram Maxim design of 1910. The Pulemyot Maxima, or PM M1910, served the Imperial Russian Army through World War I, the Civil War, and World War II. This water-cooled, belt-fed heavy machine gun fires up to 600 rounds per minute, and when loaded with AP can pen 10 mils of armor at 100 meters. Over 600,000 were produced from 1910 until the end of World War II, making it the prolific heavy machine gun of the Red Army. When mounted and firing, it weighs 63 kgs, which is pretty heavy. We'll also bring our riflemen, our recon team, our sniper Simeon, our AT detachments, and our inexperienced conscripts. The objective is in Velikiye Luki, a town in the Pskov Oblast not far from the Belarusian border. Nikolai and his men have come up with a plan to take the position, dig into an adjacent hilltop as soon as possible and draw out the enemy, potentially under fire. He'll set up an ambush to the west for any potential armored threats. When the counterattack dies down, he'll move a detachment led by Nikolai to capture the first hilltop. Once captured, they'll meet up with the main force and push north to the final capture point in the woods. So let's get going. We've got action already. They're attacking our AT detachment. Okay, we need to dig these guys in here. I want to make sure the men are on top of the hill and not in front of the hill. Any shells that hit the hill will take them out. Oh, we lost one of our anti-tank units already. I didn't see him in the bush. These guys are in position. Come on, you gotta dig that hole, buddy. I'm not gonna have time to deal with the conscripts or arm them, so they're gonna have to sit back while I try to prepare. I've also given the medics their own shovels so they can dig their own foxholes. He's got to get that anti-tank gun. Heal up and get down. Got to change everyone's weapons. Per usual, the sandbags have delivered as expected. There we go. Let's get our sniper out here in the field. Let's get Nikolai up front. Give the men the morale support and leadership. Okay, these guys need to chill out because I don't want them to catch rounds. Let the sniper deal with it. Yeah, it's a tracked vehicle. It's a KP2. Okay, it's gonna get interesting. Only problem with such a wide front. No. Don't shoot. Okay. Now there goes our sniper. And get down. You guys have got to get ready. No. Get down. Get up. Get down. There we go. Get up. That's what we're looking for. Okay, get down. Need someone with an anti-tank. Get that PTRS. Okay, everyone can get back up. In the foxhole, please. Okay, Team 5, get up. There we go. Just in time. Close one. That's it, Luca and Dennis. Give him hell. Not related to Warren and Ernest. Warren and Ernest are miles away. I'm going to repurpose that Mosin. Sergei is my new sniper. Wow, he's got a lot of guns on him. I think that's a bit much. We'll get someone else to pick up the ammo. Alright, everyone's got smoke. We're going to take some of these conscripts with some of our more experienced soldiers. A sniper, a medic, try to take that position. Then we're going to have Nikolai lead the charge. We're also going to take our Maxim with us. We're going to need it. Okay. Down, guys. That Maxim in the bush. Okay, the Maxim needs to move higher. Deploy that Maxim. Move these guys out. Tank rifle's going to sit back. Nikolai. Where's the sniper? These guys must get down. Our medic. Let's move the Maxim up. Conscripts only have 150 health and poor health regen, so they drop pretty easily. see what's happening at this point. Yeah, still plenty. Yeah, he's peeking. They've got a flak. It's at a very awkward angle, so it shouldn't be a problem if it stays put. Okay, we're going to move these guys up. Just want to move Nikolai a little bit closer so you can see what's in the fog of war. I hear a tank. Okay, it's going for other position, which is great. These guys need to drop smoke. Why are you out your foxhole, buddy? These guys must get up. Shoot that thing. There we go. I need someone with a machine gun. Oh, these are all conscripts. You've got one. I need your help. The air gun's just on the other side of that chimney. Okay. Good enough. Yeah, they're not going to get through. Have we got a grenade? No, we don't. I don't think we even need a smoke for this. Yeah. Okay, air gun sorted. Get some cover and bring the rest of the team in. To tank up. And we are capturing point C. That's a tankman, yeah. The next point is quite a while away. Point B is all the way to the west. I don't think they're going to bring much else, so we'll move the rest of the men up. Our small detachment will meet up with the main team by the windmill. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind that hill. We got a Puck 36 and an MG 34. Odds and ends when it comes to troops. No vehicles. No AA guns. And for that, Nikolai and the men are grateful. Point B is in a bit of a bowl. So it's hard to get line of sight into it without being close range. We can use our sniper to pick on them. Potentially from the south side. So I'm going to send a sniper here. We're going to send Sergei down. So I'm sending in a group of scouts to support our sniper, one of them armed with a DP-27. And we can move that DT-39 in. Got him. The things we're worried about are largely behind obstacles. So we'll move slowly through the forest with a line of men up until the summit of the hill. And then take it from there. We need to stop here. Okay, I'm going to use the sniper to take out the placements. It's going to be a bit risky though. I have to get really close. Wait, there's an alternative. Okay, I'm going to drop a smoke grenade, get the D-39 in there. Put the D-39 here, actually. Perfect. I'm dropping it here. Need to drop it here. Okay. That way the anti-tank gun is not going to be able to hit me from behind the wall. We will move in some men. Okay, I'll just check out the MG34. Now I can take out the rest of the men. They're going to try and take the MG34 again. None of that. Not today. Got him. Okay. Now for the next stage, I need someone with a machine gun. You'll do if you got smoke. Yes, you do. Let's go. That wall must stay between me and the gun. Gonna drop a grenade right there. Yeah. Neutralized. Job done. Let's get on that. Move everyone in. We need someone on that MG34. And that's the point captured. Nikolai and the men successfully captured point B. That's the mission done. We were able to capture a 2cm flak, a BMW R71, a KP1, KP2, and a STK 221, as well as a Puck 36. Something I've started doing when with soldiers in foxholes, instead of pressing F3 and throwing the grenade, the smoke grenade, which can often lead to the unit climbing out because the AI is trying to aim. A better solution is to take direct control with TPC, in my case the E key, and then press the Z key, which is my throw grenade key. That way, if the grenade doesn't get thrown, I can swivel or move the unit in their foxhole to a position that does allow the throwing of the grenade. And that avoids the what is the soldier doing outside the foxhole problem that often happens. Smoke grenades can also be a bit of a mystery, so it's hard to kind of see where their effective area is. And think of a smoke grenade, the plume, after about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, as a really big bush. And so your units who are inside the smoke cannot be seen. However, if that unit shoots their gun, they will reveal their position to the enemy. If they don't shoot their gun and they sit, the enemy can get very, very close before spotting them. Well within 10 meters in some cases. I found enemy infantry have to walk basically right up to my unit to spot them. Now I know not many people realize this, but the enemy AI shares vision. So what does that mean? If your unit is sitting behind a smoke grenade plume or a smoke plume and there's a tank on the other side, the tank cannot see the unit or the guy who threw the grenade. But if the enemy has a spotter or an infantry to the periphery, to the right or the left of the soldier, they can see behind the smoke plume and they will reveal your hidden unit to the tank, at which point the tank will open fire. So sometimes it seems like smoke grenades are not working. More than often than not, there's a spotter somewhere that can see around the smoke and spot your unit. While we're on the topic of concealment, the reason I put all my Maxims and machine guns in bushes with their hold fire mode on so that they don't shoot is because when they're in a bush, the enemy cannot see the gun. So what that encourages is the enemy to move closer because they haven't spotted the gun yet, at which point when there are enough units in range, I will switch the fire mode back on and the Maxim or the DShK will open up and take out the unit. Now, if you've been watching my playthroughs, you'll know I'm not on the friendliest terms with sandbags, because when you deploy them, often you don't know if they're blocking your unit or not until you test it. So you have to go into third person or first person and check. And I found that once you've deployed the sandbag, and if it blocks your unit, you have to move your unit. Well, I found a solution. I found that uprooting my placement and moving it forward into the sandbag and poking the barrel out the other end solves the problem while keeping the benefits of the defense. If you acquire a PTRS or a PTRD AT detachment, they will come they'll come with 2 units. There will be the primary unit, which has got the PTRS or the PTRD, and then there will be their support unit, which is usually armed with the Mosin. If you're going to use them long term, I recommend before the end of the round giving your PTRS or PTRD from the primary unit to your support unit. And what that'll do is, because the PTRS has such a high refire rate, you will now have 2 of them, and both of them will have ammo. And because both units have the exact same skill and the exact same health, you have effectively doubled your AT detachment's effectiveness. So at the end of day 1 or whatever day if you plan to use your anti-tank units for a long period of time, give the support unit your primary unit's weapon and resupply that primary unit in the loadout screen, and now you will have 2 PTRSs or 2 PTRDs or 2 Panzerschrecks if you're playing the Soviets. We lost a conscript, 2 of our experienced 80 riflemen, and worst of all, we lost Simeon. He had been with us since the beginning and was instrumental in helping us capture numerous points and clearing out placements. The survival rates for frontline soldiers in the Red Army was measured in weeks and days, not months. At the end of the war, Evgeny Bessonov's platoon had an attrition rate of 80%, meaning that 4 in 5 of the men he led, trained, ate with, and fought with would not survive to the end. Evgeny was an anomaly and survived the war despite being on the vanguard of the most dangerous armored spearheads and direct assaults into the front. The consensus is that his survival is attributed to rare accumulative experience which few soldiers were able to receive because they died so quickly. Also to his quick thinking and a good amount of luck. If you've made it this far, thank you very much, and thank you to all those that have subscribed and liked and commented and engaged with the video. If you have any Red Army anecdotes that you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. I find the anecdotes very interesting. I hope you found this video interesting or useful, and maybe there's something in there that you can use in your Soviet playthrough. So I will see you all again soon. Cheers.